Since my dad went mute, I started learning sign language secretly to surprise him. When I was somewhat fluent with it, I realized that his blessings at the dinner table actually meant, threatened with death if talk, please go to police. I dropped my fork when I understood his words. My father paused, making eye contact with me. My mother and little brother didn't notice it. They proceeded to eat like usual. I hadn't told anyone that I was studying sign language. It was supposed to be a surprise. I only had a week of practice though. Maybe it was a mistake on my part. Hell, maybe it was a mistake on his part. He had only been signing for 6 months after learning it in the mental hospital. Then again, his recent behavior started making sense to me. My father had never been very religious. After the incident, however, he started blessing our meal every time we were about to eat. Whatever he witnessed was so terrible and gruesome that it not only made him go mute, it turned him into a man of faith. At least, that's what I used to think. You want me to go now? I asked him. What's that, dear? Said my mom. Well, Dad, just... My father widened his eyes, subtly shaking his head. Nothing, I said, continuing to eat my meal. I had never seen my dad more desperate in my life. He was a private investigator up until his condition forced him to retire. Before that, he was a highly ranked detective in the police force. Nothing fazed him back then. In fact, my mother used to complain all the time that he never showed his emotions. Seeing him act like a terrified child left me deeply disturbed. Was someone listening to us? No. It didn't make any sense. He had been doing this for months. If he really wanted to communicate, he could have just written it down. There had to be an explanation. The only thing I could conclude was that someone was watching him. Still, the extent of this monitoring must be far-reaching if he couldn't find a way to pass a note. Were we in danger too? I couldn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning, Dad just went about his business like usual, acting like nothing happened. I almost assumed I imagined everything until he gave me a knowing nod right before I left for school. That settled it. I went to the police station as soon as I could. There, I found Detective Harris, my father's old partner. He was a portly man with a neatly trimmed mustache, always chuckling and smiling at something. My dad trusted him with his life and always told me to run to Harris if I ever found myself in trouble. Well, if it ain't Mike's kid, he said, come on in. I entered the messy office and found no place to sit in. Everything was covered in paperwork. Detective Harris quickly cleared out a chair for me, saying, sit down, please. Anything I can help you with? Water? Coffee? I shook my head. I'm fine. I wanted to talk to you about my dad. Of course, anything. How's he doing? He's fine, I think. I learned sign language to better understand him, but he's been saying some strange things, something about his life being threatened if he talks and to come here. Do you know anything about this? Detective Harris grew serious. I flinched. His change in mood caught me by surprise. Detective